How's it going, guys? I wanted to take some time in this video to talk about a backup gun and some very important points that you need to consider when choosing a backup gun. You know, a backup gun is something that not everyone carries, but there are a lot of people who do. If in the event you have your primary firearm have an issue, you always, if you have your backup with you, you have something to fall back on. You also have the ability for a backup gun to be used, given to a second person, such as a family member, your spouse, or whatever, in the event of some type of an incident. Okay, but there are some things that need to be heavily considered when we're talking about a backup gun for concealed carry. Now you can see what we have here in front of us is, of course, my Glock 19. If you have been a follower of my channel for a while, you have seen this gun in many of my videos. And I have here my Glock 43X. This is another gun that I have had for some time, and these two guns are the two guns that I carry the most. If any of you guys have seen some of my other videos, you know that I do carry different firearms depending on what I'm doing and where I'm going, but these are the two guns that are with me most of the time. Of course, the Glock 19 is always my primary, and it is a very solid firearm. For those familiar with the Glock 19, it is one that is possibly the most popular handgun in the world. I mean, that's just something that cannot be refuted right now. It is known for reliability. Yes, there's a lot of people out there who hate the way they look. They hate the trigger of them, but at the same time, you cannot deny that a Glock is a very solid firearm. Now, of course, my other one is my 43X. This is a gun that came on the market back a few years ago. Originally, when they first released it, the slide was basically a Cerakote silver. And of course, immediately after the gun came out, there were a lot of folks out there, myself included, I didn't really care about that silver coloring on the slide. Some people were Cerakoting them, and it didn't take Glock long to see what was going on, and they decided to go ahead and release the black version. And once they did that, that's when I picked up mine. The 43X is one that I am able to get a good grip on. The regular 43, when it came out, I really liked it. However, that shorter grip was something that I just could not stand. I do know that there were some base plate extensions and things like that, but I just decided to wait. I did not get a 43. I waited and got the 43X when it come out the way that I wanted it to be, with the black finish. And that is as far as your grip, that's something that you need to pay attention to, especially when it comes to a backup gun. The Glock 19, I have never had an issue gripping this gun. I've always been able to grip this gun very well. And also the 43X, that was a strong consideration for me when I was looking at it, especially when I used this as a backup gun, and that was one of the purposes that I wanted this particular gun for. A question that you should ask yourself when trying to decide on any kind of a firearm is, of course, are you accurate with it? Are you able to, effectively reload it? Can you grip that gun well? There's a lot of people out there that will go and get those super small micro compacts that they cannot get a good grip on, and in the event they ever needed to use it, they're going to find themselves at a great disadvantage. They could be very inaccurate with those. I have had students in my classes that have used those, some of the micro compacts out there, that have had a hard time gripping them, and I've had a few students that the gun they brought, they decided that it was not the gun that they wanted to use. So some of them will actually qualify with one of my guns. Now, the same thing when we're talking about a backup gun. There's a lot of people that will go out there, get a micro compact, and it is a gun that is not going to serve them as well as they need it to. If you cannot get a good solid grip on that gun, for one thing, you are not going to be very accurate. And in the chances of something actually happen, more than likely the grip that you have on your gun as soon as it comes out of that holster is the grip that you're going to have on that gun throughout the fight. So that's something to be aware of as well. If you have a shorter grip, a small grip that's hard for you to grip under ideal circumstances, it's going to be that much harder under a stressful situation. One consideration that you should also always make when trying to decide on a particular backup gun is, would the gun that you're thinking about carrying be one that you would consider carrying as a primary? There are times where the 43X, depending on where I'm going, how I'm dressed, there's times that this has been the only firearm on me. You know, you put a couple of spare magazines in your pocket or whatever, and you go and do what you got to do, okay? Just depending on where I'm going, what I'm doing, how I'm dressed. There are times this has been my primary firearm. And if you would not carry your backup gun just as your primary, then I would strongly consider choosing something else for a backup gun. Me personally, I would feel perfectly comfortable with either one of these two firearms just because I'm familiar with them. I have had thousands of rounds through this gun. I have had this gun in countless classes, and you can see some of the wear marks that are on it. It has been very reliable. My 43X, it is another one that is shown itself to be very reliable as well. I keep saying I'm going to replace the sights. I just have not done that yet. But both of these guns are very solid options for me. But whatever you choose, I know there are some very popular firearms out there. The SIG 365 as well as others are a very popular choice. But you can ask yourself the same question: would you feel comfortable, if you're going to carry one of those guns, would you feel comfortable in carrying it as your primary? Now that's really up to the individual. That's up to the way that you live, the way that you dress, the way that you do things. But at the same time, whatever you choose to carry, I would strongly recommend that you get out and train with it regularly, okay? It's not going to do you any good if you are unfamiliar with that particular platform. But guys, thanks for watching. Let me hear from you down in the comments below. I would like to know what some of you guys out there are carrying as backup guns. You can just simply drop that down below. Also, guys, check out all the links down in the description. Be sure to check out my website at boomsticktactical.com. Thanks for watching. Like the video, check out the rest of the links on the channel, share the video, and we'll see you next time.